Eastern Daylight Time. Tonight, southwest winds 10 to 15 knots with gusts up to 20 knots. Seas 2 to 3. Isolated showers and thunderstorms. Winds
Alrighty guys, what is going on everybody? Welcome here for today's live stream. Happy Monday everybody, hope you guys are doing good. As you guys, as probably told by the title of this live stream, yes, we are watching a tropical system and it has finally formed into a system. Welcome to Tropical Storm Brett. So, we have a lot to talk about this system and possibly even another system following right behind it. So, it looks like things in the tropics are starting to get pretty active. But anyways, right now, the storm is a tropical storm. And yes, it is expected to become a hurricane down here in time, in which we definitely need to be watching this here really closely. Alright, y'all, so let's go ahead and hop over here. Let's go and see, first of all, who's here for today. I got to give a warm welcome to everybody. We have LOL, we have Game, or it's IsW Gaming Channel, we have... let's see here. Abilene Rancher. We have Carson. We have Track, Jill, Prepper. Let's see here. We have John. We have Darren. Let's see here. Or Darren, sorry. I know you said your name wrong. One of them was wrong. Let's see here. We have Proxy. What's up, Proxy? Hope we're doing good. We have Yuno and Haley. What's up, guys? Hope everyone's doing good out there. All right, so... yes, we do have ourselves our system. We're going to hop you all over here to the National Hurricane Center. And like I said, we have a named storm now. This is Tropical Storm Brett out here in the Atlantic. Currently clocking in at 40-mile-per-hour sustained winds. So that's constant winds blowing at 40 miles per hour. Here, I tell you what, you guys can barely see that. So I'm going to actually full screen this. There we go. There you go. So 40-mile-per-hour sustained winds. This thing, or 35 knots equivalent. Central low pressure has dropped a couple of millibars. It has dropped quite a bit since yesterday. It was at 1,011. It's now at 1,008 millibars. So it is indeed strengthening. It is dropping in pressure. And the movement here is west at 18 knots or 21 miles per hour. Now, as you may or may not have known about this system, we are expecting some landfalls to occur out here towards the Windward Islands. So we're going to need to look out for those regions here. Now, here's the current tropical storm force probability here. Obviously, for the northern Windward Islands, kind of there towards the Leeward Islands, we are obviously seeing pretty good, or an increasing probability here of, tropical storm force winds to occur across those islands. So obviously, to everybody who lives out, or anyone know anybody who lives out here towards the Leeward or the Windward Islands here, obviously, you guys have got to be preparing for this in particular system because, like I said, this thing is tracking right towards you. Now, in terms of the latest models, it does appear that the probability of this system tracking out to sea seems to be declining, and that is not really a good thing. So typically, whenever you have these systems that don't go out to sea, it means eventually they could impact somewhere, in which, obviously, like I said, right now, we are expecting some impacts to occur out there towards the Windward Islands, so we'll keep an eye there for that. But in terms of strength, this thing is expected to become a hurricane here within the next day or so. I'm going to go and hop you guys over here back to the main screen here for a moment. So, anyways, but back over here, here's the current track. We're going to go ahead and I'm going to line this up a little bit better for y'all. All right, so there we go. So in terms of right now, like I said, we just talked about all the system here, 1,008 millibars, 40 mile per hour sustained winds. As we track our way here down in time, so this is kind of showing here for, let's see here. This is, let me double check on this actually. I believe, yes, so it is expected to become a hurricane here right around 2 p.m. on Wednesday. So obviously today we have it Monday, so tomorrow, between today and tomorrow, it's supposed to remain a tropical storm, and then it's going to be turning into a hurricane here around 2 p.m. on Wednesday. That's the, that's how it goes right now. And this thing is, as of now, expected to be a Category 1. However, models kind of take it a little bit further in some models. We're going to need to discuss those as well. But like I said, obviously, this cone of uncertainty has it going directly over, the Windward and Leeward Islands there. Obviously, heads up to you guys. And it even looks like it's going to be heading down towards areas like, Dominican Republic, portions here of, let's see here. As of right now, it does not look like it's going to, it could in the long run. But right now, there's no immediate danger for areas like Jamaica right now, which Jamaica is obviously kind of being obscured by the clouds here. But in terms of, areas like, Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, yeah, you guys got to watch this storm too, because it is expected to, as of now, according to the latest Hurricane Center outlook, it is expected to remain a pretty powerful tropical storm right upon arrival between the, Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic. So we'll continue to watch that. Obviously, I'm going to take you guys over here to the models now to kind of discuss the strength potential. That's what the Hurricane Center has. Now, that's not exactly, all what the models are saying. I do want to break down the models here for you guys. Because the models, well, some of them actually, kind of go into higher territories. But for the most part, the more I look at it, it actually looks like that, the models have, kind of waned down a little bit in strength, which is good news for now. I'm going to go ahead and hop you guys over here back to that view. So let's go ahead and hop back over to my main screen. So here is the latest models for Tropical Storm Brett. Obviously, we have a couple of models that goes above Cat 1 in the Cat 2, Cat 3 category. I'm not saying that's going to be impossible, but honestly, we do have most of the support remaining relatively into Category 1, threshold. If you take a line of best fit, kind of your median point, kind of goes somewhere around in here. So obviously, we can expect this thing to be a Category 1 hurricane, or definitely remain a tropical storm for at least a couple of days, because that's where we're at right now. We are seeing this thing in tropical storm force. It just now has breached the from the tropical depression standpoint to now a tropical storm standpoint. It is now officially a tropical storm. And like I said, this thing will remain a tropical storm for at least the next few days. Like I said, until Wednesday around the afternoon. That's kind of when we're expecting the transition from a tropical storm into a hurricane to occur. And obviously that is, going to become a bit more powerful. But most of the models do kind of remain it being in around a mid-range Category 1 hurricane, but, there is a few models that do fluctuate to go a little bit higher, but as of now, that seems to be kind of an outcast at the moment, so we're just going to need to continue. Just going to continue to watch that here. Now, in terms of the tracks here, the tracks have become a little bit more, supportive of a Caribbean approach. Obviously, the Hurricane Center did include the cone of uncertainty to be relatively just south of Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico. Now, in terms of the all the hurricane models, you see we still have a bit of disagreement. Obviously we have some of the models that go, still kind of show maybe going just north of the Windward and Leeward Islands there. And then, of course, we have some of the other models that go, or most of the other models that go relatively south, say of Puerto Rico, as well as the Dominican Republic. So in terms of, what the system's going to do, obviously it has more of a likelihood, and it will likely just remain south of Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic. However, like we mentioned before, I do believe that areas here in the Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico should honestly really consider watching this storm as well. Now, like I said, once again, right here at the Hurricane Center, it does show, this system remaining quite a powerful tropical storm. Honestly, it would not be surprising if later updates do show maybe a hurricane upon landfall or close approach there to Puerto Rico and, Dominican Republic. Which, I mean, like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and switch you all back over here really quickly. Like I said, this is what the cone of uncertainty shows us. So obviously, it does kind of show it getting relatively close. So obviously, I want you guys to know what the cone means. Now, I know most of you guys, especially if you guys who live in the tropics, you guys definitely know what the cone of uncertainty is. But in case you don't, the cone of uncertainty does not mean that is where all the storm's going to impact. For example, what the cone of uncertainty means is that the center of the storm, and some hurricanes obviously have eyes, tropical storms usually do not, but the center of the storm could track anywhere along these areas here. And so essentially what that means is that, the eye of the storm can't necessarily, or not expected to necessarily go further south than this line, or expected to go further north than this line. The center of the storm, according to this outlook, should remain somewhere in this cone. So obviously, the center of the storm, whether it has an eye or not, still the center of the tropical storm or the hurricane at this or whatever point, it could go anywhere. The center of the storm could go anywhere. It does not mean that that's where the effects are going to be at. For example, I mean, you can literally have for one possible scenario, which, obviously I say it's kind of unlikely, but say if it does ride this really far southern line, obviously that would increase more problems for areas of like northern South America. I believe that's towards Venezuela, if I'm not mistaken. I believe Venezuela is a little bit further southeast of this. But anyways, regardless, obviously that would start to cause some more problems for areas like northern South America. Okay, so that's kind of what we're looking at. That is essentially what we are seeing here. So the center of the storm could cross anywhere. But I want you guys to notice the cone of uncertainty is right over pretty much the entire fleet of islands here across the Leeward and Windward Islands. If you notice, the cone or the center of the storm could cross anywhere over these areas. It could go as far south as these lines. Anywhere inside of this line. I mean, any path of the center of the storm crossing into any of these areas. Like I said, I'm drawing a bunch of lines to show you guys that, these are all possible paths. Honestly, it is a possibility. But like I said, this should be a wake-up call to the people out there towards the Windward and Leeward Islands there, obviously, to be preparing for this system to make landfall. Because, like I said, as of right now, it does appear that it will be a hurricane as it makes landfall over the Leeward and Windward Islands. So, obviously, you know me, we're going to be covering this once it starts to impact land. We're going to be covering it regardless, but you know me, I'm going to really go into live coverages once it starts making landfall across the Leeward Islands. Now, you guys might be wondering, okay, well, we know it's going to be impacting the Leeward and Windward Islands, but when is it going to be impacting? Well, according to the National Hurricane Center, it does show that happening kind of early. Kind of showing maybe around 2 o'clock a.m. on Friday. Kind of seems to be the possible landfall time for these areas across the, once again, the Windward Islands. So it's going to be like later on this week, once again, Friday. And then we'll actually see ourselves, go live at that point. But anyways, let's see here. I know you're on tropical coverage, though. Well, hold on. Will I get hit by a tornado within the next 30 minutes? There's a warning south of me. What? There's been a, let's see here. There's been a warning in, let's see here, North Carolina. Right now it's not confirmed. However, all right, I will briefly show you guys this real quickly. There's a tornado warning in effect for North Carolina here out towards Huntersville, areas of, let's see, Kannapolis. We have Concord, Poplar, Tent, and Davidson. So obviously you guys got to be in your shelter here. Let's see. Yeah, just radar indicated rotation right now. So right now there's no confirmation of that system or that tornado being confirmed yet. But anyways, but yeah, no, obviously, you're south of it. You should be relatively good, unless you're in the warning. Then obviously at that point, then you want to definitely take action. Anyways, so in terms of what's going on here, like I said, obviously we do have ourselves a system tracking towards the Dominican Republic and the Puerto Rico areas. Okay, so now I tell you what, we're going to start taking a look at a few of these individual models and kind of breaking down what they say. We're going to be going over the major models like the GFS, the HWRF, HMON models, all these models, and see what their opinions. So in weather, what you want to do is you want to gather as much information as possible in order to understand what could be a possible outcome. So just by grabbing one model, that's not going to do you any good. Obviously, one model is basically, just an opinion. Obviously, there's one opinion. We need multiple opinions to make a good educated prediction. So, with that being said, let me go ahead and hop you guys over here to the models, because we do need to see what kind of differences and similarities we're talking about here. So let me go ahead and switch over here. We're actually going to first off look at the American GFS model, and then we're going to start diving into the really, like, the heavy hurricane models and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and do that right now. Okay, so here we go. So here's the American GFS. This one's actually still running. We're going to drop down a previous run here. So as we work our way down in time, according to the American GFS, there you go. It approaches the Windward and Leeward Islands here once again, kind of around 2 o'clock p.m. here for the 23rd, which the 23rd is on Friday. So like I said, it does look like that we are going to be seeing a Friday approach towards the Leeward and Windward Islands here, according to the GFS. Now, the thing is, like I said, the latest model here at the GFS is showing it go basically over the windwards as of, compared to yesterday. It seems like that's a new trend. Yesterday, it showed it going out to sea, but now it kind of shows it remaining going over the Windward Islands. So that's honestly not that good. So the system continues to roll through. It actually shows it getting relatively close to Puerto Rico there. So you can actually see the American GFS does show it getting right next to Puerto Rico. Probably at this point as a tropical storm, because the pressure has significantly downgraded. So once you can kind of see maybe around a Category 1 strength, with that pressure equivalent down there towards the American GFS showing here for the 23rd. In which, if I actually pull up the winds out of this system here, according to it, actually it shows it around, let's see here, yeah, it shows it the highest around 59 knots. So that is approaching hurricane status, but according to the American GFS, it kind of holds in that tropical storm type of characteristic, and then afterwards it kind of just goes out to sea. I mean, for example, that's Bermuda right there, but it doesn't really show any additional strengthening after it impacts like Puerto Rico. So there's Bermuda, but it shows it going relatively west. Okay, so that's the latest GFS. That's what that one has to say. Now, let's talk about the HWRF. Now, this one right here, this is a pretty well-known hurricane model. So, according to this model, obviously rapid strengthening of the system does occur. I mean, look at this, seriously dropping pressure to 982 millibars and still dropping. Look at that, 970, almost in the 960s there. Like that's a big difference. Whoa. Okay, HWRF really shows this thing taking a solid different approach than what the GFS had to say. Okay, so in terms of what the HWRF model, this one shows a possible major hurricane. Now, once again, don't be like, oh gosh, it's supposed to become a major hurricane. As of now, we have other support saying it's going to probably remain around a Category 1 as of now. Obviously, as we collect more data and as the storm continues to progress, we will get more and more information on the storm. But according to this model, that's exactly where it ends, right going over the Windward and Leeward Islands here. So this shows it right around 2 o'clock p.m. on the 23rd, which once again is Friday. So that's a consistency. As you guys have noticed, the American GFS and this one, the HWRF, does support this system here, kind of just chilling, and causing it or making landfall right around 2 o'clock p.m. on Friday. Okay, so that kind of seems to be a possibility. I was thinking it was the early morning of 2 a.m., but I guess it was 2 p.m. I might have misread that. But yeah, it looks like, according to these models, it might be the afternoon on the basically on Friday. So, obviously a really big difference between the American GFS and this in particular model. We're going to drop down another run. Yeah, look at that, because this one goes a little bit further. But my goodness, this is still kind of showing the same thing. It shows it going right over the Windward and Leeward Islands as a really powerful hurricane, and then kind of tracking its way out there towards, tracking its way out there towards, like, Puerto Rico. So, obviously, if you're in Puerto Rico, if you're obviously in the Leeward and Windward Islands, yeah, you better prepare for this now, as you have the warning, or as you have the, the heads up in order to prepare for this. I mean, right now, it is expected to be a hurricane upon landfall in the Windward and Leeward Islands, but as you see, this model does support, a possible major hurricane. But like I said, this is one model, one opinion. Let's look at some other models before we really make a solid prediction here. Okay, so the GFS kind of showed a weak hurricane, barely even reaching hurricane, if even reaching hurricane, upper tropical storm force at making. But this one shows, like, literally, if you don't know the the pressure equivalent, and this is showing around 955 millibars. That would be equivalent to around a Category 3 hurricane, according to this model. Okay, so we're going to hop back. We're going to drop over here to a different model. So we looked at the GFS to HWRF. Now we're pulling up the HMON model. So this is another hurricane model that we need to look at. So we track way down in time. This one also looks like it undergoes some pretty rapid strengthening. Look at that. So we're seeing, okay, this one's a lot different. So according to it, it looks like it undergoes, you know, some kind of scenes of rapid intensification. You can see how it goes from like upper 990s to rapidly decreasing to like the lower 990 millibar zone, which that is, you know, kind of around tropical storm force, if not near hurricane force there. But anyways, but it kind of fluctuates in strength. I mean, picks up a little bit of here for the 22nd, kind of in that hurricane strength zone. And then obviously works its way over here towards the northern Windward and Leeward Islands here. So obviously with that being said, this one shows a complete different sign. It shows a little bit more of a northerly track, and it shows it weakening before it reaches those regions. So that in itself, that's different. That's definitely different. So as you can see from what we've you know gotten so far between all the models we looked at, GFS, HMON, and HWRF, they all say something different. And obviously, you know, the track is still a little unknown because this one shows it going further north. In terms of the GFS and the HWRF, they seem to be relatively set on a direct landfall for the Windward and Leeward Islands, which I do believe that is the greatest probability, you know, of the system. I definitely do think it's going to be crossing right over those areas. Okay, let's see here. We got ourselves another model. This is the HAFS. This is another weather model here. So in terms of strengthening, this system does undergo quite a bit of decent strengthening. And this one, yes, it does show it becoming a hurricane being a hurricane right before landfall. But the thing is about this one is it kind of shows, I mean, honestly, it kind of shows it around maybe a little bit earlier of a landfall than the other models. But regardless, look at this. This is showing the possibility here of it making landfall around 11 a.m. on the 23rd. So, okay, so what have we learned from all four of these models? Well, every single model we looked at shows landfall here towards the, obviously, you know, making that landfall across the Windward and Leeward Islands here kind of around the afternoon hours on Friday. So we can clock that down as a good potential of timing. So we're looking around the early afternoon hours on Friday of a landfall to occur out here towards the Windward and Leeward Islands. So that is scheduled. That is our day of being live. So we'll likely be live whenever that does happen. So there you go. I just told you guys when we're going live here. Anyways, but yeah, no, obviously that seems to be a good possibility out of the models here. Now, obviously, like I said, obviously, in terms of what the models have to say, I mean, obviously, you know, most of them have it remaining a, you know, upper tropical storm and either that or a lower Category 1 hurricane. But once again, as of right now, according to the official Hurricane Center track, it is expected to be a hurricane upon landfall. So, obviously, here pretty soon, I would not be surprised if we did start getting, you know, those hurricane watches being in effect here. We'll probably get those tomorrow. If the trend continues, we'll probably get some of those hurricane watches tomorrow across portions of the Windward and Leeward Islands. You know me, I'll obviously let you guys know once that happens, and once they do issue those watches, then I will obviously, you know, alert you guys in that. All right, let's see. We're going to take a look at one more model here. We have the ECMWF. This is the European model. Let's see here. We're going to take a look here towards at Brett here. That's the name of the storm, by the way. If y'all don't know, that is Tropical Storm Brett. So according to the ECMWF, you know, this model is kind of keeping it weak. This model really doesn't show it strengthening at all. So, like I said, you can kind of see how it really just... The ECMWF really does not show hardly anything happening with the system here. But I honestly, in this case, I do think that this model is a outcast. You know, and honestly, this is a model that, you know, is showing, pulling very far away from what all the other models are saying here. So, with that being said, you know, honestly, I would really not trust this model too much right now. Because, like I said, this is literally the only model, or one of the only models, pretty much the only model that's saying that this thing is not going to do anything. But, regardless, like I said, obviously, in terms of most of the models we've seen here, they all definitely do support a pretty large system happening. All right, now, I do want to tell you something and look right behind Brett. Y'all see that? Yes, that is another potential system, and that's a little surprise I wanted to have there for you guys. Not really a surprise, but it is something. So obviously, in terms of Brett, we obviously have Brett, and the next name would be C. I don't remember what exact name for C is this year. But obviously, according to this model, this is the HAFS. It shows obviously, the system. This is Brett here tracking towards the windward. And look, it has a follower right behind it. But according to the models here, it kind of shows this one maybe going out to sea. That kind of seems to be the latest output on this guy back here. So that could obviously be some good news. But anyways, it's another system to watch. But yes, there is 2 of them that we do need to be looking out for. So let me actually bring you all over back here to the Hurricane Center, because they do have a outlook on this. They did upgrade the probabilities on this system actually forming here. Let me actually full screen this so you guys can see it a little better. But in terms of what's going on out here, look at this. Overall formation chance in 7 days is now at a 60% chance probability. So at this point, it's pushing the likely category. And over the next 40 hours, has a 50% chance of turning into a tropical storm or a tropical depression over the next 2 days, essentially. A 50% chance of that. So, but like I said, according to the models, though, it does support 2 systems rolling through here. Like I said, this one's overall 60% chance of formation in the next week. Of turning into a tropical system. But like I said, this is an increasing probability. This has definitely increased quite a bit, since recently here. So, but anyways, but that's what's going on out there, y'all. That's essentially what we're looking at. No activity in the East Pacific, the Atlantic. Like I said, obviously we just got to watch out for Brett here. Obviously this, this other system that we're looking at here as well. But anyways, that is that, you guys. If y'all have any questions, hey, feel free to let us know. We're going to be here for you guys. And like I said, if you guys are just now joining us, first of all, so this is your first time joining us, first of all, welcome. Glad to have you guys here. And if you have not already, please consider hitting that subscribe button. That way you guys can stay up to date on the weather here. Like I said, we always do these briefings anytime we have anything crazy going on here. So you guys can count on us being always live here for you guys. But anyways, like I said, y'all, we have 2 systems really we need to watch out for. Let me actually go ahead and pull up the other system as well here. So here's the formation outlook there. So this is where the other low is located. So that right there, that's where the other the low pressure of the system, the secondary system, is at right now. And basically it can form into a tropical storm or a tropical depression somewhere in this orange bubble here. Yeah, somewhere in this orange bubble here is where we are going to be seeing essentially a possibility for another tropical storm or tropical depression to form here. So, yep, this guy, like I said, it's another one we got to watch out for. But like I said, right now here is Brett. This is the active tropical storm that we have right now. So, in terms of that, this thing's going to continue tracking westward here. Once again, this thing is expected to turn from a tropical storm into a hurricane here around, let's see here, 2 p.m. on Tuesday, it looks like. Let's see here. Yeah, 2 p.m. on Tuesday, or let's see. Let me double check on that. Let's see, Tuesday. Okay, sorry, no, 2 p.m. on Wednesday. I thought something was a little wrong there. But yeah, no, 2 p.m. on Wednesday. The storm should be right around in here. It should be transforming from a tropical storm into a Category 1 and continually move westward to the leeward and obviously the windward islands here. And then, like I said, after that, it does show that direct landfall over the windward and leeward islands. And like I said, you guys, seriously, according to the cone here, this thing has a very good possibility of not just affecting the the windward and leeward islands, but also like once again Puerto Rico and obviously Dominican Republic. I mean, you guys, seriously, I would watch out for this one as well, because like I said, this thing is kind of tracking in those ways. Now, there's been some comments from people, and they're asking, well, Andrew, is there any shot? I forgot who mentioned it earlier, but let me answer your question now. The question was, Andrew, is this going to impact the United States? Well, the simple answer to that is we really don't know right now. We really don't know. Right now, all we know is that this thing is expected to transition from a tropical storm into a Category 1 before making landfall over the windward and leeward islands, and possibly causing some impacts over the Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico here. Now, I will tell you guys something. If this, okay, I'm gonna do a hypothetical scenario here. Like I said, I just as a if it did decide to do this. So if this system did decide to continue tracking west, say it goes for hypothetical scenarios here, say it goes towards Florida, and say it just kind of rides like this. That would actually not be so bad for Florida. The reason is because Cuba, if it continues on that track, if it continues on that trajectory, once again, hypothetical scenario, I'm not saying it will, the cone of uncertainty, that's literally as far as we go here. But like I said, it would be good because Cuba's mountains obviously can, tropical systems, they do not like making landfall. And on top of that, they do not like making landfall with mountain ranges because it disrupts their lower level rotation, and that completely just cuts them out. So obviously, in case, say if that did continue tracking west there, that Cuba, Cuba's geography could actually play a really important role in help keeping Florida safe, unless it tracks like its way into the Gulf, which I don't see that happening right now. No models are supporting that. But like I said, we'll just keep it to what we have for right now, okay? Like I said, right now, we'll keep it at the update. Once again, at the first moment, we are expecting impacts of hurricane force winds or hurricane conditions to be making impacts here towards the Windward and Leeward Islands, portions here of Puerto Rico, and the Dominican Republic. As of now, those areas seem to be getting impacted, okay? All right, well, guys, that is essentially what we're looking at here. Like I said, obviously, to you guys out there who live across the Windward and Leeward Islands, heads up to you guys. Seriously, it is going to be this is definitely a pretty important system that we do need to be tracking here over the next several days. And obviously, if there's anything we can do, let us know. And once again, thank you guys so much for joining us for today. Like I said, if there's any final questions y'all might have, let us know right now. Before we head off here for tonight, like I said, I just wanted to join here just to do a tropics breakdown. Like I said, if you guys have missed it, if you guys are just now joining us, rewind the stream a bit. We talked about the models. We went over every single model, or most of the models here in terms of, like I said, and most of the models in terms of the tropics and all that fun stuff. And anyways. But that is essentially what we are seeing out there. So once again, thank you all so much for being here. Like I said, if you guys have not already, like I said, leave a like. Let's see, TRG says, Andrew's ending already? That's crazy. Well, this is not a coverage. This is a update, a weather update. These typically don't go on too long. These are not like my coverages where I do a couple of hours of streaming. Obviously today, like I said, obviously we have a slight risk today. I'm taking a break from that since we have a slight risk. Actually, let me bring you guys over here to the Storm Prediction Center really quickly. So tomorrow we actually do have 2 slight risks here across the country. Look at this. So we have 2 of them. We have tornado probabilities, 2% chance, damaging winds, and hail, kind of the concerns. But it looks like up north, look at that. North South Dakota, possibility for a few tornadoes there. 2% chance, pretty low probability. Damaging wind gusts up to 60 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts capped there, as well as, maybe even some hail up to quarter size. Could be possible. So should keep an eye on it there for tomorrow. Let's see here. But anyways, that is what's going on, you guys. That is essentially what we are seeing. I'm going to do one more recap really quickly before we head off here to the people who's just now joining us. So if you're just now joining us and you're wanting to know what's going on in the tropics, listen up right now, okay? This is the final recap we're going to do tonight, and then after this, we're going to go ahead and call it a night, okay? So what's happening right now is we just have had our second tropical system has just developed today. And this storm is named Tropical Storm Brett. Now, Brett is expected to become a hurricane later down in time, and I'll explain when and where. So, right now, the current system is clocking in at sustained winds, constantly winds blowing at 40 miles per hour. So, right now, it is constantly, sustained winds of 40 miles per hour, which does make it a tropical storm. Obviously, with higher gusts, higher gusts up to 45 to 50 miles per hour is possible within the storm. So, right now, if you think about it, 40 mile per hour winds, that's nothing too crazy right now. But, like I said, it is going to be increasing in strength over the next few days. 1,008 millibars, has dropped about 3 millibars since yesterday's update we did. And in terms of, where this thing's going, how far it's moving, or how fast it's moving west at 22 miles per hour. Okay, and then like I said, we continue to move relatively westward here, and this thing is expected to transfer from a tropical storm into a hurricane kind of around the afternoon on Wednesday. Now, this thing will continue to be a Category 1 hurricane, expected to be continuing a Category 1 hurricane just before making landfall, or just as making landfall over the Windward and Leeward Islands here. You guys are in the direct crossfire right now. You guys are seriously in the crosshairs in terms of in terms of what's going on with the system. So you guys are expected to be getting hit by a hurricane out there. As of right now, a hurricane is expected to be making landfall over the Windward and Leeward Islands here. So heads up to you guys who live out there. Now is the time to prepare. Then it continues moving west here. It continues to be a Category 1 hurricane even after making landfall across the Windward and Leeward Islands. But then, according to the latest Hurricane Center track, it does weaken to an upper-level tropical storm just before getting relatively close to Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic. So it looks like it seriously could have some problems. It looks like it could have some, impacts here, not just for the Leeward and Windward Islands, but also for, Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico. So, like I said, those areas as well should really consider watching this system, as it does look like it is going to be getting relatively close to those areas in which I would keep an eye on it there. But like I said, obviously in terms of the timing out of the Leeward and Windward Islands approach here, it is expected to be making landfall sometime around Friday. In which we do need to be keeping an eye on. Like I said, right now it kind of seems to be like early Friday, like the early afternoon, I should say, on Friday. Kind of seems to be the time of landfall here across the Windward and Leeward Islands. And then obviously continuing moving northwest here. And like I said, obviously causing potential impacts there towards Puerto Rico and Dominican Republic. So, like I said, those areas right there, those are the regions that have got to be preparing for this. And like I said, anything after that, we don't know anything more than that, okay? But anyways, guys, well, that's that. Like I said, obviously we looked at the models. Some of the models kind of have it in upper-level tropical storm force, and there is a model or two that does show it getting stronger than a Cat 1, which right now seems to be fairly unlikely, because like I said, I'm going to go ahead and hop you guys back over here really quickly, back to the intensity guidance, according to the spaghetti. So you guys have seen the spaghetti plots, right? You guys have seen how all the models scatter out, they all track different areas. Now, think of this as the spaghetti plots for those models, but it's spaghetti for the intensity. Okay, so that's basically what this is doing here. So in terms of the strength here, out of the system, once again, obviously now it is a tropical storm. It is now our second tropical storm of the year. But now in terms of, strengthening, obviously you can see the models continue to uptrend and continue to show this thing strengthening over the next several days. And then you kind of see how it kind of, caps out maybe right around lower level Category 1. So it kind of does something like that. So this is what we call the line of best fit. That is basically, the median, the average points between the lowest model and the weak, or the lowest model run and the highest model run. So obviously in terms of strength here, this is the middle point between what all the models have to say. But you can see how it is expected to definitely be in that, Category 1, perspective. But according, like I said, you can see there's a couple of models that do support it going into Cat 2 and Cat 3, which, like I said, right now, those are kind of the outcasts right now because it's just a couple of models to support that, while the majority of the models have it being in the range of Tropical Storm and Hurricane, Category 1. So anyways, but that is that. Right now, like I said, it is expected to be a Cat 1, nothing higher than that right now at the moment, so we'll just keep an eye on it, and we'll keep you guys posted. Alrighty, guys. Well, I think that's going to go ahead and wrap it up. If you guys have enjoyed this, leave a like, hit that subscribe button, please, guys. It'll be greatly appreciated. Thank you all so much for being here. Like I said, join our Discord down below and follow us on Twitter at NWW1162. You can actually see it's in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen here, in which you can see it's right below my cursor. See right there? I can't do that because it's a part of the scene, but you can see right below my cursor here, it says NWW162. That is our Twitter. Go ahead and follow that real quickly. That way you guys can stay posted. I'm going to start posting more to our Twitter in terms of, tropical weather updates and all that fun stuff. So be prepared. Like I said, go ahead and follow us down there. And all right, well, once again, if you have not already, hit that subscribe button, y'all. Please share this with a friend or family member. It'd be greatly appreciated. Help get the word spread out there. Obviously, the more we can spread this out, the more potential lives we could save here. Like I said, y'all, please, it'll be greatly appreciated. And thank y'all for being here. All right, let's see here. If y'all have any final questions, like I said, let us know right now before we head off here. Also, if you do have any questions after the stream, we do have our Discord. Like I said, it's in the description. Go ahead and join that as well. But anyways, let's see here. Caden says, well, I got here 1 minute ago, and it's ending soon. Well, Caden, rewind this live stream here. Like I said, we talked about 40 minutes on this storm here. Like I said, obviously, just rewind the live stream, go back. If you guys, like I said, it goes to you guys. Anybody who's just now joining us, rewind the live stream back to the beginning. Like I said, we talked over some very important steps in terms of the system. We really break it down in this live stream for you guys in order to, let you all know. What I'm probably going to do for you guys is early tomorrow morning. Okay, early tomorrow morning, I think I'm going to make a video for you guys. What I mean early is like before, probably around sunrise or so, I'm going to upload a video for you guys. Just in order to give you all a quick early morning update in terms of what we can expect out of the system here. So, Alrighty. Well, guys, y'all take care. Once again, thank you all so much for being here. You guys absolutely rock. We love y'all. Thank you so much. Like I said, obviously, stream's going to be heading off here in approximately 2 minutes. So if there's anything you want to go ahead and say to your friends and family who's hanging around there in the stream, once again, thank you all so much for watching us. We're gonna go ahead and end with the final, the cone of uncertainty here, so you guys can watch this, and look at the cone if you want to. But all right, y'all. Well, once again, stream's going to head off here now in 2 minutes. Y'all take care and have a wonderful rest of your night. And obviously, I'll see you guys in a future video in terms of the update on the tropics, as well as a live stream tomorrow as well. Yeah, tomorrow I'm going to be doing another live stream like we did today in order to give y'all a new, fresher update and stuff like that. All right, you guys, let's see here. Let's see, will this be a hurricane? Yes, it will be a hurricane. It is expected to make landfall as a hurricane over the Windward and Leeward Islands. Once again, as you can see right here, Windward and Leeward Islands, Category 1. And it's going to be getting pretty close here to the Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico, so those areas have got to watch out as well. And once again, there's another system that we need to watch as well. Just a little bit of a recap for y'all. And all right, well, y'all take care. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will catch you guys here in the next one. We love y'all. Please stay safe out there. Peace out, my friends. See you later.
Central tropical Atlantic. Formation chance through 48 hours. Medium, 50%. Formation chance through 7 days. Medium, 60%. Your coastal waters forecast for the KHB 32 listening area for the following marine location, Tampa Bay waters. Issued at 2:48 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Tonight, southwest winds 10 to 15 knots. Bay and inland waters a moderate chop. Scattered showers with isolated thunderstorms early this evening. Isolated showers and thunderstorms late. Tuesday, southwest winds 15 to 20 knots with gusts up to 25 knots. Bay and inland waters choppy. Numerous showers and scattered thunderstorms. Tuesday night, southwest winds 15 to 20 knots, diminishing to 10 to 15 knots after midnight. Bay and inland waters choppy. Numerous showers and scattered thunderstorms. Wednesday, southwest winds 10 to 15 knots with gusts up to 20 knots. Bay and inland waters a moderate chop. Numerous showers and scattered thunderstorms. Wednesday night, south winds